What's up, everybody? Thralls here once again. I'm Necrotic.
I'm Jammin, John.
And we have yet another album review for you. And this one just kind of came out of nowhere. Saw it was on 20 Buck Spin. Generally, that's a good indicator in terms of like cool new bands that I haven't heard of. If it's on 20 Buck Spin, I generally give it a chance.
Yeah.
And, well, we got a nice, bleak offering here of some ungodly heavy fucking doom. We're going to go over the debut full-length from Tribunal, The Weight of Remembrance. This comes out on the 20th of January on, again, 20 Buck Spin. This band formed sometime in Vancouver. I couldn't really find much on this band. This is a pretty fresh band.
Well, yeah, even on Encyclopedia Metalum, I didn't find really anything.
I found two other bands called Tribunal. They weren't these guys.
There's 7 bands called Tribunal, according to the Metal Archives that I saw, and none of them are this band. And we caught this on a YouTube stream, and although the YouTube stream goes kind of in-depth about the band, it has nothing that mentions anything about when they formed, so here we are.
So we do know that this is their first album. This band technically only has 2 members. One, Soren Morn, who plays guitar, bass, and classically trained cello, and Etienne Finn, who plays guitar and bass as well. I think there's synths there too.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a session drummer on this as well. And musically, I said doom, and believe me, this dooms. This dooms a fucking lot. This is very gothic, dreary doom. Oh, man, dude, this is pure bummer music.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
Like if you catch me tearing up as we talk about this, it's because, man.
Sad as hell. But beautiful. Like, honestly, like, it's very pretty. The opening track, Initiation, man, in terms of mood setting, yeah, they set you up for a lot here. You have dreary synths, some clean guitars.
Rain,
man, it rains a lot in Vancouver, I think. I don't know, there's a lot of rain on this album, but yeah, the mood is set. You have church bells in there, because what's a doom metal album without church bells being played? And all of a sudden the droning riffs come in, and this very pretty, very haunting cello, and my God, this is just absolutely bleak sounding. Like,
and that puts it lightly. It's pretty sad.
The first 2 tracks on here are the musical equivalent of having your fucking pet die in your arms. Like, it's that fucking sad. There's going to be a lot of dark humor on here just because that's how I cope with this.
The thought of a pet dying in my arms is the most miserable, sad thing I can think of. Just, dude,
It's also raining out.
Yes, raining and cold, and no one's happy.
And it lost a full litter of puppies, too.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
They died in utero.
There you go. There you go. All the sadness, but in musical form. Like, the riffs are dreary, syncopated chugs. It's slow. It's pretty much at the pace one would carry their own casket in the fucking mud and rain through a cemetery to the grave that they dug for themselves. It's that. And it is done so well. It really is. Like, as much as I feel like I'm making a lot of dark jokes, I am. It's well executed. Like, oh my God, you can feel this. And if you don't, you get on to the second track of Creeping Moss and Crumbled Stone, and it's as heavy as the soul-crushing weight of reality coming down on you.
I mean, you just came in the wrong door. It immediately, there's no warning. You just, bam, oops, I'm not in the right house.
Musically, this is very much along the lines of peace-filled death doom. My Dying Bride, Paradise Lost, early Anathema, early Catatonia, which we just went over. So this feels kind of fitting in a way. It's melodic, but it's so dark. It's so melancholy. But honestly, it's super engaging, and that cello is so haunting.
That cello fits in all the right places. It provides a lot of the ambience. A lot of the atmosphere is provided by this super dark, dreary cello, but it sits in the mix perfectly. In fact, in Creeping Moss and Crumbled Stone, it sits behind the guitar a little bit, but the guitar is so low and crunchy anyway that it's just this perfect mesh of sound.
The production, I think, is absolutely fantastic. Everything has room to breathe, more than likely its final breaths, because, yes, but... Like, I just love how it sounds. Like, all the atmosphere that is on here is so appropriate. It builds, and the vocals, I think, are absolutely fantastic on here in terms of the vocal flips. You have almost blackened growls from Soren, but she flips over to these haunting, clean vocals that are so well done.
Like, ghostly haunting clean. Like, it sounds like a ghost singing. And then when that middle in between her singing and that growl, you have almost kind of like an Ozzy Osbourne type vocal.
The melodies themselves are beautiful. I mean, you know, you gotta make peace with the fact that this is like the darkest, fucking, most dismal shit. Like, honestly, maybe more akin to Funeral Doom. Like, going over the latest Ahab, I think it's kind of close to that, minus the seafaring themes. Evocan, esoteric. It moves at a snail's pace for the most part. Like, there are sections where it does get more up-tempo. Certainly not upbeat. That it was not allowed here.
No.
But, like, more up-tempo where you get, like, some, you know, like, double time stomps. But for the most part, we're talking slow, syncopated chugs with great guitar harmonies. Like, the guitar harmonies really kind of, you know, bring out, like, another level in here. Like, yeah,
sorry,
that level.
Breaking into tears.
That level. I mean... You can drone and chug all you want, and I think, you know, yeah, it's going to be heavy. It's going to be, you know, oppressive and just chunky as hell. But when you throw on those sad harmonies on there, and man, like, they're really sad too. Maybe not as sad as the cello, but still really fucking sad.
I mean, the title of this record is so fitting. The Weight of Remembrance. Like... There's definite weight here. When these riffs play, you can just feel them crush you, and then this cello comes in and voids you of more hope. Like, I think of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, and he's lost his tail, and he doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Like, this is gone.
Summer, it's gone.
Gonna go walk out into the road.
Guess I'll go fuck myself.
But this has, like, kind of two halves, but, you know, going back to the more oppressively heavy stuff, of Creeping Moss and Crumbled Stone, like, that is such a monolithically heavy song. Like, that, I don't know, like, there's something about that song alone that just, I don't know, it almost encapsulates the weight of this entire fucking album. The giant droning riffs, it's long, like, it's one of those, like, depressions that just doesn't let go. Like, this is gonna take months to get by.
Yeah, like, you know, you first go to the therapist and they're like, you're gonna be alright, and you're like, nah. And then they say, well, take these pills and you're going to be all right. And it's, nah. It's like the first, like, 4 to 5 months of trying to crawl out of a deep depression where just you don't see light at the end of the tunnel. And this record does a great job of reminding you of that.
Yeah. And, you know, even in its quieter moments, like, there are swells of synths and, again, the cello. And I love how in the mix they will kind of, like, phase in. Like, you get, like, a moment to breathe. Again, probably a final breath in this case. But then, like, this wave of synths will come in. They're beautifully layered. And, again, the clean vocals are excellent on here. Like, there isn't a positive note that comes out of her fucking mouth. Like, that's all super dreary, but it's so well done.
They're pretty, so it kind of masks the fact that there's no hope. Like, man, this is pretty, but what she's saying is not hopeful, and really it just makes it further not hopeful. But there's some illusion there.
It rains a lot in Vancouver.
Apparently. I actually have never been to Vancouver.
But this has, like, a very interesting, like, flow to the album. Like, we've stuck with the first half, which, again, soul-crushing. Like, like, dude, it comes down on you fucking heavy. But you get to this middle point, Remembrance, which is a very sad, of course, piano sonnet, and it's gorgeous. It really is. And I generally bitch about interludes, but this kind of comes at an interesting point because the remaining 3 tracks, while they are oppressive and heavy and dark, it feels notably different than the first 3.
The songs jam a little bit more. Like, I don't want to say that, again, not upbeat, but like slightly more up-tempo, and it has more to do with riff work and chugs than it does just that dreary atmosphere.
A World Beyond Shadow and I think The Path both showcase melodies you just don't hear on the front half. Like there's some more Middle Eastern themes, and with the cello in there, like it just fucking sits perfectly. All of a sudden it becomes slightly more epic. Like the vocals actually have some more ascending melodies, especially on Without Answer. They actually go up a bit, and they've all been just descending down into the depths, or rather the tomb in this case. But these sound more, I don't know if I would call it triumphant, but brighter, maybe?
There's times in The Path where there might be a little bit of hope. Like you might see the sun peeking through the clouds, but in reality what happens is that sun just illuminates a field of corpses, and legit you're the only one left alive. So like, was it really worth it?
Mondays, am I right? You gotta clean all that up. It's ridiculous. Without Answer, I think, is quite different in the fact that it is probably the most riff-driven song. Like, all right, all these songs have riffs, and generally, you know, it's really cool lead harmonies, some really pretty solos too, but a lot of it kind of just, you know, single notes it, single chord, let that thing ring out, and just kind of crush you. This song actually has like some really cool, like clever riff progressions, a little bit more like dissonance to them, and the melodies themselves, like especially the guitar harmonies, kind of take on like a classic heavy metal vibe. Like a little bit of Candlemass squeaked in, or like even, I would say like Iron Maiden, although played at like 3/4 the speed.
3/4 of the speed, and no hope.
And no hope. Aces low, my friend. But I don't know, it's just really cool to hear these like kind of brighter melodies. Like, I don't know, it just takes on a totally different vibe on these last 3 tracks. And I don't know if it necessarily gives hope, but I don't know, it becomes like more just like oppressively heavy, like less depressive, more oppressive.
Yes,
maybe.
Yeah. More weight, less tears. So you're being crushed in a car compactor versus
crushing a compactor with all the puppies.
Right, dude, no.
All the puppies. None of them made it. And neither did you.
I feel like we're in a fucking commercial with Sarah McLachlan, and a small puppy is looking me in the eyes, and it's starving, and it's poop encrusted. And
they euthanized the puppy right after the commercial.
And right after the camera shut off, they euthanized all the dogs.
With a hammer.
Oh,
and you have to watch. Second most awkward boner I've ever had. But honestly, as much as this is about atmosphere, I think it's also about dynamics. Like, the dynamics on this album, the vocal flips, the shifts to like cleaner sections. There's some stuff on here that kind of reminds me of like Worm's last 2 albums in terms of the dreary gothicness. Yeah. Like, man, does that make like kind of everything really sink in? Like Apathy's Keep, which I thought about going there, but I just never had the energy to get there, so I don't know. But I really just kind of dig the vocal flips on there especially. And honestly, I think it has one of the catchiest choruses on the entire album. Like, it's very hooky, but you know, when you listen to what she's saying, it's like, wow, you're just kind of giving up on everything. Man, okay. But the thing that, I don't know, I like about this, but also like it's kind of an odd thing, is the fact that this does kind of feel like 2 EPs with like that little instrumental in the middle. Because the first 3 tracks and the last 3 tracks, granted, like, you know, stylistically have similarities, you know, vibe-wise there's similarities, but they feel different. Like, there's just a different musical approach to some of them. Again, the last 3 have, again, like kind of an epic vibe, and I think just songwriting-wise, like it feels a little bit more guitar-driven, and the melodies feel less, maybe, again, depressive. But the front half is, God, so damn dark. Like, man, by the end of Creeping Moss and Crumbled Stone, I was like, dude, I hope I make it through this album. Like, this band is depressing enough to make My Dying Bride call them and suggest getting therapy. It's so fucking just, it's hard to fucking describe. Like, you just kind of feel it. But overall, I really dig this album. Like, it is a soul-crushing fucking listen from start to finish, but there's like a glimmer of hope at the end, kinda, maybe. I don't know. But I don't know, like, I love the songwriting. I think this is just a really fantastic, engaging listen, albeit the saddest fucking thing I will listen to today, for damn sure. So,
just today.
Just today, yeah. Just today. I'll listen to sadder shit later.
Tomorrow's
I'm sure
a new day.
Is it? Is it? Now, initially, I was going to rate this 4 orphans crying in the rain with a dead puppy in their arms, because that feels about right, but I don't want to find that picture and use it. So, yeah. I'm going to give this 4 stars. I think this is absolutely excellent. Like, in terms of that old school Peaceville death doom sound and funeral doom sound, like, this is just fucking soul crushing. And I think that's the idea. Like, if this wasn't soul crushing, I don't think they doomed hard enough. The riff work, I think, is excellent. You know, the front half, I think, is a little bit more minimalistic on the riff work, but man, it really opens up in the last 3 tracks. The vocal dynamics are absolutely amazing. I think they really add a lot to it, but man, that cello is something else. That adds a whole other dimension of sorrow, as if this album needed more dimensions of it. This is a fantastic listen. I'm gonna fucking order this on 20 Bucks Spin not too long after I'm done recording this. Go get this. This is not something to play when you are already depressed.
Right.
Listen to, like, literally anything else, but if you just want to listen to some great fucking death doom, funeral doom, whatever you want to call it, it's awesome. Check this out.
As sad and as forlorn as I feel now, and as crushed as my soul may be, I also got to give this a 4. This was a very engaging listen for funeral doom, death doom, whatever you may call it. The inclusion of cello in here, don't let us downplay that at all. When they say classically trained, they mean it. It is so incredibly fitting for the mood that they set, and the way that it is played and incorporated into these songs adds a level that I don't think a lot of music gets. From start to finish, even though I will also agree with Nick that the last 3 tracks definitely have maybe a little more to them and have added in more, say, heavy, nasty guitar than the first 3 did. Every track is engaging. The vocal dynamics really add a lot of fuel to the depressive fire. I still can't shake a pet dying in my arms, but it's grossly appropriate for what this is.
I say fucked up shit.
Yeah, you do.
I do. It was accurate.
But I would recommend going out and checking this out, and I'm also probably shortly after this video turns off just gonna buy it, because support this band. Support them. They did a good job.
Emotionally support them, because I think they're going through some shit.
Right. You may want to show them a live pet and show them how some pets can live. Show them that. Cuddle your kitten tonight. Something. It was a great listen. I had fun. 4 stars for me.
So, if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. We are also on Patreon. If you'd like to help us out there, there's a link down below to thrallsmetal.com. That is where our store is. We do need to get more stuff in there.
Yeah, we need to.
That'll happen.
We need to do. 2023 is a new year for us. We're going to put some more shit in there and put some more content on Patreon, because we apparently kind of suck at that too. Yep.
But, you know, we're working on all that stuff. But, again, Patreon links down there if you'd like to help out. And any news about the Denver Death Fest?
Denver Death Fest, of course. Like I said in Catatonia, too. If you've been paying attention to Thralls of Metal over the last few weeks, you'll notice that we went from having no venue to having a venue to starting to announce bands. There's a bunch of really sweet shit going on. We have 5 bands announced, and there's 25 more to go. We have some sponsors, Dead Records, Prior Custom Cabs, Doom and Groom, which is apparently a facial and hair care, so. But anyway, yeah, we have some sponsors. We've got more bands coming. National acts start to get announced next week, so fuck yeah, man. Denver Death Fest, I'm super, super excited about this. We've all put in a lot of work. Everyone's worked really hard to get here, and now we're just going to start enjoying things like band announcements and ticket sales and blah, 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 blah. It's going to be a great time. I'm super fucking excited.
I'm really looking forward to the blah, 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 blah.
Well, of course Nick is. Nick, I mean...
That's my thing.
As many facets as you think this guy has, he is mostly blah, blah, blah.
It does come down to that.
It really does. And this is where we get down to the thank you portion of these videos. This this review has been so incredibly somber and disheartening that we're going to go ahead and just say thank you. Thank you very much for continuing to tune in and continuing to watch our silly fucking antics and our bullshit as we talk about music. We appreciate each and every one of you. This has been such an awesome fucking ride. I'm so thankful and happy to have Thralls of Metal.
I mean, this has become, like, actually one of my favorite things to fucking do. Like,
Yep.
this has become such a huge part
Yep.
of my life. I love just talking about all this stuff. There's so much to talk about. There's going to be so much more to talk about. Can't wait to make some more videos. It's always fun. And thank you all for every fucking ounce of the support. It means the fucking world to us.
Yes, it does.
So with that, thank you one more time, because that's what we do at the end of these videos.
Thank you.
And we will catch you later.